Step up in the club, I got the heels up on my feet. You better watch my red bandana while I'm jugging on the beat. The swag I got was killing it. Check out up in the streets and vocals do not mean a thing if you can drop it on the beat. My name don't need no introduction, just know that I am the shit. Put some respect on that cocaine while I'm in this bitch. Step up in the club, I got the heels up on my feet. You better watch my red bandana while I'm jugging on the beat. The swag I got was killing it. Check out up in the streets and vocals do not mean a thing if you can drop it on the beat. My name don't need no introduction, just know that I am the shit. Put some respect on that cocaine while I'm in this bitch. My time is money, so if you gon' talk, you better make it quick. I'm coming for your head, give me my bottle, I'ma take that shit. I'ma take that shit. I'm a boss bitch, I'm a boss bitch. Roll up in the room doing boss shit. I get boss checks, I get boss rich. Get the money fast and I spend it quick. I'm a boss bitch, I'm a boss bitch. Roll up in the room doing boss shit. I get boss checks, I get boss rich. Y'all bitches do what y'all can, and I do what I want. Y'all bitches do what y'all can, and I do what I want. Y'all bitches do what y'all can, and I do what I want. Never been the type of chick to clear a room or rock. I let them bitches talking niggas who it never gave a fuck. I drop my son and then I pick my money up, and that's why what is that it doesn't do, don't switch my money up. I never sold out, I switched up, and the real niggas since day one. If a nigga say they made me, okay, then make another one. And I said that shit, I put myself on it. I ain't a bit of baby mama, cause I got money. I'm a boss bitch, I'm a boss bitch. Roll up in the room doing boss shit. I get boss checks, I get boss rich. Get the money fast and I spend it quick. I'm a boss bitch, I'm a boss bitch. Roll up in the room doing boss shit. I get boss checks, I get boss rich. Y'all bitches do what y'all can, and I do what I want. Y'all bitches do what y'all can, and I do what I want. Y'all bitches do what y'all can, and I do what I want. Hey yo, I never needed your permission to be me. What's understood ain't never gotta be explained.
Hey everybody, you just finished listening to Boss by Jewel Princess Johnson, aka Cocaina. And I absolutely love that song. That's one of my favorites. She's getting ready to drop some fire on you guys, but that's the one I love the most. But you know we're starting at 7, but I need to address some things before we get started. So you guys already, if you know me, you already know where I'm going with this. So I want to speak briefly because it's 6:45. I want to speak briefly on the 25-year-old that was shot in Georgia and the 21-year-old that was shot in Indiana. So briefly, because I think that one of the things we have to do with this is we have to address our response, right? We have to address our response. And so I want to make sure that I address, how we respond. I'm not going into details. I'm not going to discuss the case. I'm not doing that. But I am going to address the overarching theme with these shootings. Number one, we know that the overarching theme with all of these shootings is that 9 times out of 10, it's an unarmed Black man who either fits the description of someone who has recently committed a crime or something else, right? We also know that generally in the narrative, it is a white police officer, right? Now, let me help you understand this. What I'm not going to do in this conversation is I will not discuss whether or not the shooting was justified. Because for me, and this is just me speaking, I can actively look at the shootings from both lens, right? However, I'm very concerned that particularly in that Indiana shooting, at the comments that were made after the shooting. The comments that were made after the shooting were very, very, very clear and defined. I guess this is going to be a closed casket funeral. That bothers me. Not that the shooting doesn't bother me, but I hate to say that in 2020, these shootings are becoming so normalized, guys. And that's the problem. These shootings are becoming so normalized that it's tough. It's scary. It's scary to think that in 2020, we have these normalized shootings. And so, one of the things that I need to make sure that I make you aware of is that we have to be mindful of how we respond. Getting on social media, cussing, screaming, and going off is not the answer. To be honest, guys, at this point in time, the only answer I can give you is save your outrage and go to the polls and vote. Save your outrage and go to the polls and vote, because at the end of the day, a lot of the same people who are so outraged and who have so much to say, you're playing into their hands anyway. Some of you are the same people who have already played into the hands of the very people that are shooting these guys. So my charge to you is to take that energy and go do something with it, but do something constructive with it. Don't go out here picking at the police because you already know what time it is. And see, I think that's what happens. I think what's happening is that, you know, our emotion tells us to react in a certain way. And I understand it, because the thing is that mental slavery is real. And so what happens is we're actually still traumatized. That trauma has come down through generations. I accept that. I embrace that. It is what it is. But with these situations that we are dealing with, we have to start removing some of the emotion and start thinking logically and critically and analytically like they are probably thinking. So guys, one of the things I would say, try your best to look at what's going on, right? And really commit to memory. Okay, you know what? This is happening, but I will not fall victim to this foolishness, right? Because it's my concern that if we get out here and start acting a fool and start tripping, and I understand the protest as well. Guys, I understand the protest. I get the protest. Rock on, my brother. But my concern with the protest is, guys, what are we really accomplishing out here protesting? For real, for real. We have to start thinking logically, analytically, and critically, because this is the thing. While we're out here protesting, other laws are being written, amendments are being made that we don't know anything about, and so much other stuff. There are so many distractions that we cannot focus on what we really need to be getting straight. And what we need to be getting straight is we need to get back to building the village. We have to rebuild the village mentality because it's been torn down. And I'm sorry, they didn't tear the village down. We tore the village down. We tore our own village down. And so we have to get back to that. But I don't want to spend a lot of time with that because the topic for tonight, when we come on at 7 p.m., we are definitely going to be talking about dating in the 21st century. And so, you know, my heart goes out to the families. My heart goes out to the families. But I will say this. I'm going to say this to everybody. You make all of your decisions based on your own free will. We all have free will. Free will. We are not living in a dictatorship, although it may seem that way, but all of us have free will. And with that being stated, I need y'all to act like it. But I need us to stop walking around like barbarians. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of the major things that bothers me is you wonder why you keep getting harassed by the police, but you own live smoking your weed. Now, luckily, I have not seen anybody shooting up or riffing cocaine, but you own live, you smoking weed on live. You know what I'm saying? You got guns and knives and machetes and all of this stuff on live, and you wonder why the police keep harassing you. Come on, people. Do we want likes and comments and views that much that we put our lives and our freedom in jeopardy? Because I don't understand that. I really don't understand it. And the crazy thing is, it's men and women. Now, excuse the heck out of me for being old-fashioned, but certain things are not ladylike. I'm not about to get on live with my guns and pop, pop, pop. You know what I'm saying? That is just, ladies, that's not it. That's not it. That is not it, and especially when you in your 30s and 40s. You need to sit down somewhere and find something sustainable and constructive to do. Because at the end of the day, we're setting our own selves up for failure. And a lot of you gonna get mad. But I'm going to say this, and y'all can let this go down in history. The white man is not all of our problem. We are our problem. We are our own worst enemy because we do not understand work ethic. We do not understand how to work hard for what we want. So I need you to come back. I need you to come back. I need you to reevaluate. If you have grandparents, I need you to go sit down and talk to your grandparents. And I'm sorry, I'm not taking shots at anybody, but I'm not talking about 30 and 40-year-old grandparents. I'm talking about grandparents who lived through the struggle, grandparents who lived through Jim Crow. Because, see, the other part of this thing we have to understand is that slavery wasn't that beast like that. It was a beast, but slavery wasn't the beast that truly crippled us. Jim Crow crippled us. But the things that we're doing in 2020 is a slap in the face to those that fought to try to get us out of Jim Crow. And you notice I said fought to try to get us out of Jim Crow because we're still in Jim Crow. The only thing that changed is that we went from direct, blatant, in your face racism to institutionalized racism. And if you don't understand what institutionalized racism is, institutionalized racism could be equivalent to the fact that all basketball goals were taken down during COVID-19, but golf courses are still open. And that's a far stretch. That's a stretch. So don't take that at face value. But I'm trying to help you understand how institutionalized racism works. Institutionalized racism means that this stuff is embedded in policy. Hence why when our guys get shot down in the street and we acting a fool, they are sitting there coming up with a case. They're going back finding statutes, laws, and other cases. Because see, what you have to understand about these things is that a lot of times when you have a trial by jury and the jury is provided with jury instructions, the reality is that 80% of people that serve on juries, they don't even understand the jury instructions. One thing you need to know about jury instructions is similar to mental health diagnosis. You have to often rule out disorders to get a better diagnosis. Well, it's the same thing for jury instructions. You have to go through and make sure that the charges and all of the criteria are met for those charges. That's why a lot of times people's charges are changed, because it's like, okay, we can't get them on first degree murder, but we can get them on manslaughter, or we can't get them on, it can be different. It can be different. Just like you can have assault, you can have aggravated assault. So I need you to understand, guys, and I'm not trying to preach to you, but it is about education. It is about education. And I know I act foolish, but one thing about it, I took time. I took time to educate myself on these processes, not just in the classroom, not just in jurisprudence class. I took time on my own. Why? Because I am a very flamboyant African American female. I'm very assertive, aggressive, and very loud. But the one thing that I do have to balance all that out, I have knowledge, skills, and ability. And that is more dangerous than anything else. So I say that to say, guys, please, please, please educate yourselves, educate yourselves, educate yourselves. And in a few minutes, in about 2 minutes, my guest for tonight will come on and we will get started with dating in the 21st century. So we're going to vibe to the tunes of Miss Tisha Lassane. I love this song, Rearview Mirror, and I think it's appropriate to kind of lighten the mood so that we can start to talk about dating in the 21st century.
But then I saw that look in your eyes when you left me and said goodbye. I never had a chance to even question why. But now that it's over, I can't believe that it's over. Oh, I never had a chance to make it right.
And guys, go ahead, share the live, start a watch party or whatever, and let's get this thing popping. Let's get this thing popping because we're gonna have some interesting conversation tonight.
I wanna be close to you. I want you in my life. But baby, it hurts so bad when things just ain't right. I wanna be close to you. So baby, let me know. Will you hold me close? Or will you let me go? See, I need you in my life. I wanna carry your kids and be your wife. See, love ain't easy. We can't let it go. Don't wanna give up on love. No, 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 I see you where things so bad. I want you just to baby, let me know. Will you hold me close?
All right, all right, all right. So, guys, I'm so glad that you guys are still rocking with me. And once again, share the live, share the live, share the live, invite your friends, start a watch party. I don't care. But more importantly, engage with us. So tonight we are starting episode 1 of Dating in the 21st Century. And so let me tell you a little bit about dating in the 21st century. Basically, what's going to happen is for the next couple of weeks, we are going to be talking with different people about their dating experiences. But the idea is that in talking to people about their dating experiences in the 21st century, that we really compare historical dating trends to current dating trends and try to figure out just where the heck we went wrong. So tonight I have Miss Alicia with me, and I'm getting ready to bring her in, and I have her introduce herself to you guys, and then we'll kind of jump in from there. Hey, Miss Alicia.
Hi, love. How are you?
I am great. I am great. I am great. And thank you so much for being here this evening. Introduce yourself
Oh,
to
you're welcome.
everybody, and then we're going to jump right in.
Well, my name is Alexia Bergman, and I am a single mother of a 1-year-old, and I am trying to live life to the best. So that's just me. I like to have fun. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Alicia, let's just jump right in. So, tell me a little
okay.
bit about what your experience has been with dating historically versus now.
Um, I'll say, a couple of years back, it was a good experience slash a bad experience. When I say good experience, it was someone who went through the old fashioned values that I believe in. You ask the parents, you meet the parents, you take someone out and you enjoy them and have a good time. The
Mhm.
only bad experience is that I wasn't the only one that this person was trying to be interested in. So that's what it went wrong. Versus now, I see too much of um, men being comfortable and not being a gentleman. They believe in, the hearsay, she say, and my homeboy don't think that good for me. I'm not gonna do this, and I just don't think that's right as of now because your opinion is your opinion. What does the other people have to do with it? So
Okay, so you said something that I want to put a staple in real quick because you
okay.
said something about a gentleman, the gentleman, you weren't the only one he was interested in. So that means he
Mhm.
was talking to multiple people. Let's
Right.
put a staple in that because we're going to
Okay.
come back and talk about serial dating. We're going to talk about that.
Okay.
All right. So tell me this. Define for me, if you say you're talking to somebody, define for me what that means.
To me, that means that I'm not the only person that you're calling and texting every day. I'm not the only one that you're saying, hey, let's meet up, let's go here, let's do that. I want to come chill with you tonight. Let me take you to a movie. That means you're calling and texting other females saying the same thing that you're saying to me.
Okay. Now, define to me what it looks like when you're dating someone.
When you're dating someone, I believe when you're in that space where you're dating someone, I
Mhm.
feel like it's okay to have other friends that you can call and text to, but don't be like, hey, I miss you. I want to spend time with you. Can we go,
Mm.
here and spend,
Mhm.
can we go away together? Can we go to a movie together? Because those are things you do in a relationship. Those are not, it's okay to go to a movie with a friend or a
Mhm.
coworker, but don't take me to a 10 o'clock movie and then you turn around and say, "Oh, I just took my best friend to a 10 o'clock movie." Because I feel like after certain hours, it's off
Oh.
limits. It's off limits.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is I'm hearing a little bit of etiquette. I'm hearing that there's some appropriateness in what you do when you're talking to somebody versus when you're dating somebody. So
Hmm.
what that sounds like to me is that for you, when you're talking to somebody means you're talking to different people because you're getting to know different people. But when you're dating somebody, in your opinion, you should be solely focused on that person that you're dating. Is that what you're saying?
Well, not so, because I don't want them to feel like that they have to cut their life, just
Okay.
not try to be a person outside of that. But I just don't feel like if you're dating someone, then, to be respectful and to that person you're dating, don't be sitting here texting Tammy at 1 o'clock in the morning saying, "Hey, what you doing?" Because I
Mhm,
feel like
mhm.
there's something else going on between y'all.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Now, if your best friend, it's like, hey, I'm cool, I'm just gonna stay in with my lady. It's already late. Do
Mhm.
something like that. It's okay to be like that, but that's just how I feel.
Okay, okay. And absolutely. And once again, this is dating in the 21st century. If you're just jumping in, we are
Mhm.
talking about dating in the 21st century. We're talking about dating trends. We're operationalizing what it means to talk to someone versus dating someone. So, Alicia, define to me as a woman, and you said that you have a 1-year-old little girl. So I'm
Yes,
pretty sure you have some non-negotiables. You have some things that you are simply not willing to compromise because you have that 1-year-old. Tell me a little bit about what your non-negotiables are in dating.
I am very strict on who I bring into my daughter's life. I
Okay.
feel like if I have not known you or we haven't been dating over a year, you will not meet my
Mhm.
daughter,
Oh,
because
okay.
I have to fill you out before you meet my daughter. I have to know
Mhm.
you out of the good, the bad, the ugly, and whatever before you meet my daughter, because I want my daughter, whenever I meet somebody, I want my daughter to say she treats or he treats her like the queen she is. You're not going to be coming in
Absolutely.
talking trash, be abusive. You're not going to do anything. I want to know all of this before you go into my daughter's face and say, "Hey, I'm dating your mom," because my parents brought me up like that. My
Okay.
parents believe
Okay.
a man should be a gentleman and treat a woman like she's supposed to be treated. And when
Absolutely.
my mom,
Absolutely.
when my mom them, separated, we didn't always right away meet my mom, current boyfriend. She waited a couple of months out before we got to meet them, because she felt like we have to be protected first before anybody else comes in this household, and that's how I feel.
Okay, absolutely. And I love that. I love the fact that you spoke about a couple of things. You spoke about respect for your child. And so I
Hmm.
want to throw this out there. I don't have
Okay.
children, but I do have
Okay.
nieces and nephews. And I will say this. If you're dating someone, and I don't mean y'all exclusive, if you're dating someone and you haven't checked to see if they got a sex offending background or a history of aggression and violence or mental illness, you need not bring them in your house with your kids.
That's right.
The reality is that the scary thing about dating in the 21st century is this. You have people that are watching you and looking at your kids and like, you know what? I'm gonna get close to
They
her. So
plotting on your child. Yep.
hands
Yep.
down, hands
Yep.
down. But that's a whole different conversation, and I'm gonna jump right back to where we're supposed to be. Okay. So one of the things that I hear a lot is that, well, I need him or her to make me happy. I don't know. Oh my God, since they left me, I don't feel the same anymore. What does happiness look like to you? What does happiness look like to you?
Well, before I define that, I want to touch on when people say they're looking for validation out of a man. That's
Mhm.
because they are not happy, or there's something within themselves that they're not agreeable with. And I always tell people, you got to find happiness and self confidence and within yourself, because if you go to somebody they're gonna validate you for so long, and then it's over with, and then you're gonna feel like, well, why did this person walk out my life? Am I ugly? Am I too, pushy or something like this? You got to be comfortable where you stand,
That's
and
it.
that's where the happiness come in it. Because if you're not happy, if you don't get up in the morning and say, you know what, Queen, you're beautiful, you're intelligent, you're smart, kind. If you don't validate your own self, you will
That's
never
it.
have happiness. You will
Absolutely.
never have happiness.
Agreed. Agreed. Absolutely. So, in essence, what I hear you saying is that your significant other should compliment you, not supplement. And those of you
Yes,
out there who understand grammar, you understand that compliment with the E is an accentuation. Compliment with the I is a statement. Okay. So before you try to check the grammar, I'm gonna go ahead and check you now. But anyway, so okay. So happiness. We talked about happiness and the fact that a significant other cannot and should not complete you because you should already be whole and they accentuate and they just make it just so much better, right?
Right, because if you happy with yourself, when that right person come along, he's gonna be like, you know what, you are beautiful, my queen. You are intelligent. He's
Absolutely.
gonna agree with you, and that's gonna it's not gonna give you a boost because you should already have that boost, but it's
Mhm.
gonna make you feel good inside because you like, you know
Absolutely.
what,
Absolutely.
somebody see what I see. And I ain't got to worry about what nobody else see. As long as you see what I see and you see the validation and you see the confidence in yourself, when somebody else give it to you, you be like, I know, boo. Don't worry about it. I know that. And you good.
That's it. That's it. So, okay. What are some of the things that you feel like you personally need to feel enhanced? I don't want to say completed because we gonna come complete. We're gonna
Right.
come complete. So what are some
hmm
of the things that you feel like you need to feel enhanced in a relationship?
I just need somebody to be on the same level as me.
Okay.
Somebody, and my when I say that, I don't need somebody who's 30, 40 years old, still out here trying to play games, trying to start drama, and be the center of attention every time something fall or face in Facebook or La La Land. You got to be like, oh, let me go handle this and let me see what's going. I just need somebody to say, you know what, I'm grown. I done had all the playing time in my life. It's time for me to mature up. That's what makes me feel good because you know what? I can see you and growth in you and you gonna move forward. But as long as you still trying to play games and you trying to be drama and you trying to be messy, you ain't going nowhere.
That's true.
You ain't going
Very
nowhere.
true. Very true.
And I
Very
can't
true.
be with nobody that do that. I can't.
Very true. Very true. Do you feel like social media has made dating harder?
Social media and entertainment has very made it hard for dating. It has.
Okay, describe why you feel that way.
Because reason why I say social media is because we have a tendency as some people to put all of our business on social media. And then we
Mm,
get all these opinions from other people that don't even know what's going on the inside. They just see what's been put on the outside. So
absolutely.
that's what make it hard for social media. When I say entertainment, you have people, and this has happened before, and this is getting worse as we get older. You
Mhm.
have people who set a certain image of a woman. You got to be 5'5", size 2, long hair, and people stick with that image instead of being they self. They're trying to be
Absolutely.
somebody else, and
Absolutely.
that's what's messing
Absolutely.
us up because we can't look inside of ourselves and be ourselves because we got too many people who's looking at the image and think the image is gonna be good for us when the image ain't nothing but the devil.
Speak, 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 speak. So, all right, all right. So let me run this back. What I hear you saying is that social media has made dating in the 21st century so much harder because people have created a false reality on social media.
hmm
And so everyone is buying into this false reality versus people having real friends and saying, baby, you know that's not you for real. Let's display who you really are and let people love the authentic you.
Right, and then social media also have a tendency when we are mad with somebody, we
Mhm.
go to social media and vent all their business to social media. Whether it was
Okay.
told us in private or told us in public, you go to social media and you vent, then
Uh-huh.
everybody reading it, and they're taking your flaws that you vent to somebody else, and then they're using that against you. And they're like, well, I can't be with nobody that done did this. Okay, we all made mistakes in our life. We all done something wrong.
We
But if
have.
you're gonna keep holding that cloud over my head, then we can't move along. And I'm not
Okay.
gonna let nobody keep a raining cloud over my head because I know through a higher person that the sun gonna shine one day.
That's it. Oh, I love it. I love that. I love that. Now, I'm going to give you a quote, and I want you to tell me whether or not you agree or disagree. And those watching the live, when I put this quote up, I want you guys to respond as well.
Okay.
So the quote says, there is no disappointment or anger in real love. There is
Mm.
no disappointment or anger in real love. What do you think about that? There's
Mm.
no disappointment or anger in real love.
I have to agree with that, because the reason I say that, because if you have disappointment or anger, then that means you're not agreeable to common grounds. You can agree to
Mm.
disagree, but if you have a true love, then whatever is brought up, you should be able to sit down and talk about it. But if there's anger or disappointment, that's on the fuel to a fire, and it's not going to go anywhere but spread all over the place.
Okay. Well, Miss Alicia, thank you so much for joining me tonight on Dating in the 21st Century. Hopefully, we can bring you back again and we could talk about something else, or we might just have to expand upon some of the foolishness that we encounter in the group setting. And so I
Okay.
think this will be a whole different conversation. But I'm so
Okay.
excited. I'm so excited that you were able to join me tonight. And thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, daughter. It was my pleasure.
All right. Bye-bye. So, guys, you heard it. You heard it from Miss Alicia. You heard what she stated about the operationalization of talking to someone versus dating someone. We even talked about compliment versus supplement, and the fact that one person should not alter your happiness to that degree. You should already be whole. You should already be complete, so that when you do meet that person, ladies, when you meet your Boaz, guys, when you meet your Ruth, you are ready. You are ready. And so that's what it's all about. Now, this is episode 1 of Dating in the 21st Century. We will definitely have more to talk about next Thursday. And remember, on Tuesdays, it's consulting time with Lily Mae. And on Thursdays, it is all things authentic with the Brown Mermaid. And so I really appreciate you guys tuning in. You can find all the back episodes and back shows on YouTube at Lily Mae Senoj, Senoj. But as always, thank you so much for rocking it out with me this afternoon, this evening. We tried to go a little bit earlier today, but remember, we stay connected, we converse, and we collaborate through what? Joy, jewels, and justice. Have a good evening, everyone.